So what's up guys, my name is Super, and today we're taking a look at the 6th feature highlights video for City Skylines 2, which is about electricity and water. I'll be pausing the video throughout to talk about what they're saying and showing us, but without further ado, let's get right into this.
To understand the basic needs of your citizens, you need only look in the mirror. Like you and me, there are a few important things they need to live healthy, happy lives. That includes electricity, water, and sanitation. With these systems in place, everyone in your city has a shot at living their best life. Let's take a look at electricity. When laying roads, you also install low-voltage underground cables that supply electricity to homes, offices, and shops. These cables plug into transformer stations. Transformer stations are also connected to the high-voltage power lines streaming from your city's power plants.
This system is definitely a lot different than it was in City Skylines 1, because back then, power would kind of be carried through your city on like a house or building-to-building basis, where now it seems like all of the roads have power lines underneath, and I guess water and sewage also just built in. And then whatever road is connected wherever is going to be able to carry city services like power and water and sewage to those buildings. So there's no more needing pylons just to bridge a gap in your buildings. Now you're just going to need kind of high voltage power lines to go into the transformer, which will convert it to road power, which is pretty nice.
They act as a junction where low voltage cables and high voltage lines link up. Together, they form the grid that pumps electricity right across your city. There's one drawback. Power lines and electric cables can only carry so much electricity. When demand increases, they can max out, creating a bottleneck. Keep the grid humming by evenly spreading electricity connections around your city. You can also build power lines to import electricity from neighboring cities. Imported energy will save your bacon if local power plants fail to produce enough electricity when demand increases. It will, too. Expect spikes when the thermostat drops and everyone dials up their heaters. Hot weather will cause spikes too, as people flick on air conditioners, fans, and ice machines at the same time.
I definitely like that there's a realistic aspect to the amount of power that's being used, and it's not just scaled linearly, I guess I can't really say that word, with the amount of people that you have in your city. But during winter and summer months, AC versus heat, and hopefully lights being on and off in buildings is going to scale your electricity up or down. Which means that during the day you might be exporting power to other cities, but then at night when people turn on their heaters to keep warm, you might be importing. I mean, I'm sure it won't be that much of a gap, but that's a possibility, which is actually pretty cool.
Your power plants might produce more electricity than your city needs. When that happens, you can export it to your neighbors. While this can offset production costs, think it through. By storing excess electricity in emergency battery stations, you have nothing to worry about when demand rises. Emergency battery stations help your city get the most out of solar power plants. Battery stations power the city at night when the plant isn't producing electricity, and recharge when they operate during the day.
That's actually a pretty cool feature because, like I said a second ago, you would be importing maybe when people turn on their thermostats at night, but you could also just save up electricity in a battery bank, and then at night when there's more demand because of the power usage going up, you can just draw from that instead of having to import your power at that point, which would save you probably quite a bit of money.
Of course, solar is just one renewable energy source. You can build wind, water, and geothermal power plants too. Fossil fuels are another way to power your city. Or you can go nuclear. Let's talk water and sanitation. Surface water sources are the same as in city skylines. Expect flowing rivers, glittering lakes, and vast, swirling oceans. Groundwater is different. These underground reservoirs replenish over time, so they can run dry if they're drained at a faster rate than they're refilled. They're also susceptible to ground pollution. When they're contaminated, dirty water is pumped into your city's freshwater system. That's bad on every level, mainly because decontamination takes a long time.
I think it's really cool that pollution in general as a whole in City Skylines 2 is way more advanced than it was in City Skylines 1. It's no longer just an area around the building that's going to pollute things, but now you're going to actually have it pollute groundwater, and you're going to have that wind that carries the air pollution over your map. It adds a lot of different things that you have to worry about when you're building your city, and makes it a lot more realistic and complex when you're planning out your roads and where buildings will be.
Build a groundwater pumping station to tap this resource, and a water pumping station to bring surface water into your city's water system. You can also add water to the system with wastewater treatment plants. These plants can process sewage to produce clean water for homes and businesses. There's another way to manage sewage: sewage outlets. They release waste into open water, which can help prevent sewage from backing up. And that's a must when it comes to public health. Bungling waste management can make people seriously ill. That's why you want to keep sewage outlets well away from pumping stations. How can you balance the very human needs of citizens with your ambition as a city builder? It's simple. Imagine living your life down there, day in and day out.
And that's a really good way to end it, because they really emphasize the point again that people and traffic and the way your city runs is hyper-realistic in City Skylines 2. And it really is a method to just, pretend like you're down there, because everything's so much more hyper-realistic now compared to the way it was in the past. Well, it looks like you made it to the end of the video. Good job. If you'd like to watch the last one, which is about city services, that's going to be on the right side. If you want to watch the first video that I make on the game when it comes out, that's going to be on the left side of your screen. And in the center, you're going to see my channel's logo, which you can click on to see more stuff like this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.